Welcome. The next variant of Maxwell equation is to be derived from Ampere circuital law. So we already know what is Ampere circuital law, right? The point form of Ampere circuital law is given by curl of H is equal to current density, that is J. So this is the point form of Ampere circuital law, which this we have already derived, right, while explaining curl of magnetic field. So curl of H equal to J. Okay. Now to proceed with, see, we'll come to know something interesting here. Okay. So let us see what is that interesting. So to find out that, let me find divergence on both sides of this equation. Okay. Let me try to find divergence of both these expressions. So I'll try to find divergence on LHS, as well as I'll try to find what is divergence on RHS. So I have divergence of curl of H is equal to divergence of J. But it is well known that divergence of curl of any vector is 0. Okay, this term is 0 because the divergence, if you try to calculate the variation, okay, with respect to all the axes, then find the curl, you are going to get 0. So divergence of curl of any vector is going to be 0. So here divergence of curl of a vector, any vector, so here it is H vector, is going to be 0. So this directly indicates me that del dot J has to be 0. That's why I told we are going to get something interesting, okay, just by finding divergence on both sides. This is telling me that del dot J equal to 0. How I got this? I got it directly from the Ampere circuital law. I did not do any magic here. Please understand. You may feel that I have did some adjustment to get this. No, I have just found divergence on both sides. Okay, for an existing equation, it has to be some value. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, if you have this equation defined well, and if you try to find divergence, curl, okay, any operator you try to operate with this equation, if you are getting 0, it is interesting. If you are getting some value other than 0, okay, that is fine. Then this equation is thorough with, or is very in hand with physical significance. But here I am getting del dot J equal to 0. Why I am interested in this? Is del dot J 0? Have we not seen what is del dot J already? That is divergence of current density already. What do you mean by divergence of current density? Divergence of current density is something like current vectors leaving some surface, right? That is divergence of current density, because we measure current density based on number of current lines, right? Basically current vectors coming out of a surface, right? That is how we measure J. Divergence of J means there should be some value. But what I mean to say, yeah, if you remember that, it's really good. It's continuity equation. So we already have continuity equation. From continuity equation, okay, which was well defined, right, we have already seen del dot J is minus J bar of, that is time variation of volume charge density, right, that is del dot J. This is from continuity equation. Continuity equation says this. And now, just now, I got del dot J equal to 0. How I got this del dot J equal? By applying Ampere circuital law. If I apply Ampere circuital law, I am getting that del dot J is equal to 0. But I cannot agree, because I know already that del dot J, it is well established relationship that del dot J equal to minus d bar OV by d bar T. So this made Maxwell think why this is happening. I have already an established relationship for continuity equation. When I say del dot j, there is a time del dot j is equal to minus d bar OV by d bar t. There is a time variance because we are talking about time varying field. We should not forget that. We established this relation, continuity equation relation, in steady field, right? In steady electric field. But here we are talking about time varying field, but doesn't matter because you can see by looking at this equation, you understood that, see, this is d bar by d bar t I have in this particular equation. So this is time variant equation. So this is applicable in time varying field. That is very important to understand, so that you will not have any doubt in your mind. So conceptually it should be very clear. See, when I am talking that del dot j equal to 0, I am getting here, and I am saying that no, this cannot be true because del dot j is minus d bar OV by d bar t. You should not tell me that, sir, this equation we have derived in steady field, we are talking about time varying field now. This is true anywhere. How I know that? Because on the RHS I have time variation of rho v. So it depends upon time. So this is true in time varying field also. So in time varying field also, del dot j should have been minus d bar OV by d bar t, but I am finding it to be del dot j equal to 0. So what this tells you is that this curl of H equal to j was derived in steady magnetic field. Okay, I'll repeat, continuity equation was derived in steady electric field, but the relation establishes that it can be true in time varying field also. So I am not doubting this equation. But here you see, so obviously now I should doubt this equation, the validity of this equation. This curl of H equal to j was derived in steady magnetic field, and when I try to make it varying, that is when I try to find the divergence, when I check whether it is varying, then I find that it is not varying. I got del dot j equal to 0. That is the meaning, right? Conceptually, it tells me that j vector is not varying. It is not varying. That's why I got 0. But it is saying that it is varying. It is varying by d bar OV by d bar t. Here it is saying it is not varying. So what should I do now? This is really interesting. This made Maxwell interesting. He was amazed. So he directly told us that the Ampere circular law, which is derived for steady magnetic field, cannot be applied directly to time varying field. So it is necessary for us to have a generalized form of Ampere circular law in point form, which is valid for both static field and dynamic field. That sounds interesting, right? And that sounds very meaningful. So I should have, so this curl of H equal to j is only true for steady magnetic field. I am really sorry for that. I cannot apply this point form of Ampere circular law in time varying field. So it is better to have, or it is necessary. So Maxwell felt it is necessary to have an Ampere circular law or a generalized form of Ampere circular law which can be applied in both the fields, in static field as well as dynamic field, in steady field as well as time varying field. For that what he did was, he just tried adding a term to this equation. Okay, curl of H equal to j is what we know so far. So he just tried adding a new term. Okay, so let us try to find out what is this new term he has added here. He added a new term. Okay, I call it as an unknown term for now. At this point of time of derivation, we call this as an unknown term. The name itself is unknown. Unknown itself is a name. Yeah. So curl of H equal to j plus g. Again, what I do is I try to find the variation. In the sense, I will apply divergence theorem on both sides. Okay, let us find what will happen. So let me apply divergence theorem both sides, because applying divergence theorem made me to reach here, right? Basically made the Maxwell to reach here. So after adding this term, he just tried to find divergence on both sides again. So let us see what we get. So we find divergence on both sides again. So I end up something like this. And you know that this is anyway 0. So I get that this equation is equal to 0. So I get del dot j plus del dot g equal to 0. Or I can write del dot g, right? Del dot g is equal to minus del dot j. I just take it the other side of the equation. So I find that del dot g, what is del dot g? I don't know. G is unknown term. So divergence of unknown is minus del dot j is what I am getting now. Right? Now I'll apply continuity equation here. I know that del dot j, just now we have written here, right? Del dot j is minus d bar rho v by d bar t, and we know that I can agree, or we can agree with this equation in time varying field also, even though it was derived in non time varying field, because this equation explicitly tell you that this rho v is time varying. So if I apply this here, I have minus del dot j, so this minus comes other side, so I have just variation of rho v. So my del dot j becomes, my del dot j is d bar rho v by d bar t. So just see how I am proceeding from here. We already have, from one of the Maxwell's equation, we already have that del dot d is equal to rho v, right? The Maxwell's equation which we have derived from Gauss's law in electric field, we know that del dot d is equal to rho v. I think for your reference we have put that as equation number 2, if I am not wrong, in the previous video. Okay, so the del dot d is equal to rho v. This relationship we already have. So just using this here, okay, this del dot d is equal, so rho v can be substituted as del dot d. So I get del dot g is equal to partial differential with respect to time, that is time variation of del dot d. Okay, so I can easily, because del operand is also partial differential, so this is also partial differential, I can interchange the operands easily, so that I can write del dot g as del dot d bar d, that is partial differential of flux density with respect to time, right? So divergence of g is equal to divergence of variation of d with respect to time. So this can be mathematically, this is also true. If del dot g is equal to del dot d bar d by d bar t, this is also true. G is d bar d by d bar t. It is just cancellation of the operands on either sides. So I get g is equal to d bar d by d bar t. See, Maxwell defined a new term, or we call it as unknown, right? The unknown fellow as g. And now I have what is g? Okay, now my g is d bar d by d bar t, that is partial differential of flux density with respect to time, rate of change of d with respect to time is my unknown term. So now I know what is g. So what is my next duty? If I know what is g now, okay, if I know what is g, I can write the Ampere-Circuitor law in point form in time varying field as j plus g, and g is nothing but now d bar d by d bar t. So this is modified Ampere-Circuitor law for time varying field, or this is our next Maxwell's equation. This sounds really interesting, right? So he just modified this equation. Okay, I hope this number is correct. I am just continuing this number from the previous videos. Okay, so curl of H is j plus d bar d by d bar t. So here I get Maxwell's equation from Ampere-Circuitor law in point form. So the modified Ampere-Circuitor law, so as to fit, so as to agree with time varying field, is nothing but our next variant of Maxwell's equation. Okay, now here it is also better to know that, this term d bar d by d bar t, which is nothing but our g vector, which we call it as unknown term, right? This is known as displacement current density. Okay, this particular term is known as displacement current density also. Okay, it is displacement current density, and we can usually notate it by JD vector. J vector is a normal current density, then JD vector is displacement current density, so that you can represent this equation. Okay, doesn't matter, our equation number 7 also will hold good, but it's better to know this also. You can represent this equation as J plus JD vector also, because that unknown term G vector was later known to be displacement current density. Okay, now we have our point form equation. Now you know that you should be able to find the integral form from this equation. So far in all these 3 cases, we were first ending up with the integral form equation, then we were applying divergence theorem or Stokes theorem and finding the point form. Now in this case we ended up with point form, and now from this point form we should be able to find out how this can be represented in integral form. So for that, what I will do is, okay, to obtain this integral form, what I do is I just integrate this differential form of the equation over a surface. Okay, or what basically Maxwell did was to obtain the integral form, because all other equations have both integral form and point form. So just to obtain this equation also in that form, he just integrated this, okay, mathematically. Okay, I am not very sure about the physical significance of this, but to mathematically represent, he has mathematically evaluated this point form over surface. So if I integrate this equation over a surface, I write this as J dot ds plus surface integral of d bar d by d bar t dot ds. Okay, now to make this look better, I am going to apply Stokes theorem to LHS. So I have curl of h dot ds on LHS, which can be written as h dot dl, right? Curl of h dot ds is nothing but h dot dl if I apply Stokes theorem. So by applying Stokes theorem, my LHS becomes h dot dl. So h dot dl is equal to surface integral. Okay, so both integrals same, so I just add them. Doesn't matter if you write it separately also, but better to write in a simplified form. So j plus d bar d by d bar t, sorry for that, this is d, okay, d bar d by d bar t dot ds. So this is basically, okay, Maxwell's equation in integral form, which is derived from Ampere's circuital law. And if you are fond of statement or how to read it in English, this particular integral form can be stated as the MMF around a closed path. Okay, so I treat it as, it's better to write closed path. Okay, so closed integral E dot dl is mathematical way of representing EMF. Then closed integral h dot dl is mathematical way of representing magnetomotive force MMF. Okay, magnetomotive force. So this particular form of equation state me that the magnetomotive force around a closed path represented by LHS is equal to surface integral of conduction and displacement current densities over the entire surface bounded by the path. Okay, I'll repeat. The Maxwell equation from Ampere's circuital law in integral form states me that the magnetomotive force around a closed path is equal to surface integral of conduction current density and displacement current density over the entire surface bounded by the same closed path. So J vector is also known as conduction current density or simply current density. Okay, so conduction current density, you find the integral over the closed path, and displacement current density, you find the closed integral over surface integral over the closed path. Add them, you are going to get total magnetomotive force. So this is how you can evaluate magnetomotive force. Okay, so the integral form of Maxwell's equation tells us that we can evaluate induced MMF, that is magnetomotive force, if we are aware of the total surface area as well as conduction and displacement current density. Okay, so now if you want, you can further, okay, this equation can be just how I modified this equation can be further, okay, this form is better to remember, okay, or better that you remember it in this form, but still we know that surface integral J dot ds, okay, surface integral J dot ds is nothing but current, because J is measured for a given area, right? So surface integral J dot ds is nothing but current. So I can write this equation like this also. Closed integral H dot dl, that is the total MMF over the closed path, is equal to the total current enclosed by the path plus, that is the total current flowing in that path, plus surface integral of displacement current density over that closed path. So this is another way of looking into equation number 8. Equation number 8. So I hope I did enough justice in making you understand 4 Maxwell equations in time varying field. I repeat, I say 4 Maxwell's equations. First Maxwell equation was from Gauss's law in electric field. The second Maxwell equation was derived from Gauss's law in magnetostatic field. The third Maxwell equation, which we have seen in the previous video, was derived from Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, and in this video we have derived Maxwell's equation from Ampere-Circuitor law, and we found that this is nothing but a modified Ampere-Circuitor law. And you should also remember that all these 4 Maxwell's equations have 2 variants. We can represent Maxwell's equation in integral form as well as in point form. So I again appeal you to list all these equations in this particular order itself and try to remember it in such a way that you can reproduce it on a paper when and where required without any mistakes. So thank you for watching. Bye.